Hello everyone, welcome to classroom of Basic Principles of Steel Structures. In this lesson, we will learn the following material requirements for steel structures: steel properties determined by a series of tests, weldability of structural steel, and steel properties and complexity stress state. At present, the factory produces thousands of kinds of steel, but what kind of steel can use as structural steel? First of all, steel must have high tensile strength and yield strength. Secondly, steel requires good plasticity and toughness to reduce the tendency to brittle failure. Thirdly, the steel also needs to have excellent process performance, which means it does not cause a significant adverse effect on the mechanical performance of structure. The tension test is the most basic mechanical property test of steel. Typical stress strain diagram for steel shown in Figure 2.1. There are several important data points on this curve that need special attention. The typical stress strain diagram reflects that steel will go through 4 stages from the beginning of the test to the breaking. From Figure 2.1, we can also get several critical material parameters. One is Young's modulus. The second is yield stress, and the third is tensile strength. Figure 2.2 is the idealized model of the Figure 2.1 used to control engineering design. In China, generally, only the first 2 rings are taken, and the material is assumed to be an ideal elastic plastic body. For impact test to reveal the toughness of the material, use the chubby impact test shown in Figure 2.3. The chubby specimen has a Y-match and standard size. The impact toughness is the impact work done by the hammer in the chubby specimen test. The impact toughness is a measure of ability of structural steel to resistance, brittle fracture, and impact load. Cold band test is also one of the basic mechanical properties tests of steel. The test set up for the cold band test shows in Figure 2.4. Cold band test is an excellent method to identify the quality of steel, mainly plasticity and weldability. Cold band performance is a comprehensive indicator to judge the plastic deformation ability of structural steel and metallurgical quality. In steel structures, welding is the most commonly used connection method, so there are specific requirements for the weldability of structural steel. First, there are no welding cracks in the weld seam and the adjacent metal. Second, the plasticity and mechanical properties of the weld seam and the nearby metal are no lower than the base material. Chemical elements have a significant influence on the weldability of low-carbon steel, and the specific content will describe in the next section. For low alloy steels, the control of weldability achieved by controlling the carbon equivalent of steel, which is calculated according to equation 2.1. For structural steel and complex stress states, the equivalent stress is usually used to determine the real stress situation. Equation 2.2 expresses the calculation method of equivalent stress. Using equivalent stress and yield strengths of material, we can judge the stress state of steel and the complex stress state. If the equivalent stress is larger than the yield strength, the steel is in the plastic state. Otherwise, the steel is in the elastic state. In summary, in this lesson, we learned the properties of steel. In the next lesson, we will learn the main factors affecting the performance of structural steel. See you next time.